is Fox News contributor Jessica Tarlov, the co-host of the hit show The Five, host of Water's World. It's his world, we live in it. Jesse, right? It's your world.
It is my world, Sean, but now I'm being sanitized, so I'm a little nervous.
You're fine. You're good. I was on your show, so it works out. All right, Jessica, there is a level of vitriol and hate that even you should be uncomfortable with, and as a liberal, you might even be a little embarrassed about.
I'm not really that embarrassed when you think about how people, including the president, talked about Barack Obama. He said he founded ISIS. He was a birther. Not that Obama is an American. Hillary Clinton has Parkinson's disease. She should be in jail. And that's coming from someone who ended up as the president of the United States of America.
I think
we
Hillary
could talk
should
about
be in
Ted
jail.
Nugent, who was invited to the White House, where he called him a subhuman mongrel and said that his machine gun should be in his mouth, or he should suck on his machine gun.
You came with your talking points. Very nicely done.
No, it's not. I mean, thank you. I did write them out. I wanted to make sure I didn't forget.
There's never been, and this is something the president said today. He goes, this investigation, phony, over a year now, has hurt the country. And there's still no evidence, Jesse.
Yeah, it's an embarrassment to the country, and the left's continued to embarrass themselves. But as a very stable genius that he is, he has this gift, Sean, where he brings out the best in people, but he also brings out the worst in people. And he's done that with Hollywood and in the media. You have De Niro sounding like a sloppy drunk, like he's been hanging out with the DNC chairman, Tom Perez, too long. Madonna's getting visited by the Secret Service. Kathy Griffin's beheading people. She's getting fired. And then in the media, the same thing. People are getting fired for tanking the stock market. They're getting sued for slander. So he has this ability where his enemies destroy themselves. They're screaming, they're crying, they're wearing these pink little hats.
Listen, I know Donald Trump. Yeah. I've known him long before he ever ran for president. He is a funny guy.
Yeah.
And he does this, okay, you want to hit me? I'm going to hit you, and he's going to have some fun. Everybody expects Jessica, he's going to one day wake up and say, oh, I'm going to bow and kiss the ring of the mullahs in Iran. It's not going to happen. Or kiss the ring of Kim Jong-un, and I'm going to give them all billions of dollars and beg them to like us. That's not going to happen. That's not who the American people voted for. Is there anything you see about Donald Trump that you say, wow, the economy really turned around, or standing up to murdering dictators is actually good? Do you agree with that?
Well, standing up to murdering dictators is definitely good. I'm not sure that I love his approach to dealing with Kim Jong-un, but, you know, it's great if North Korea and South Korea are having a conversation. Should we give him billions like Clinton did and tell that's a good deal for American people? Can we do that?
That was good.
I can't do that imitation as well as you can. But
I want to talk to all the hot chicks out in TV land.
I have to say to you guys, sitting here remote, which makes this more difficult, but sitting here and listening to you talk about all the liberal crybabies when conservatives were up in arms that President Obama wore a tan suit, for instance.
Give me one economic statistic that got better under Obama.
I mean, it was a terrible suit, Jessica. Everybody agrees. Come on.
Oh, no, they don't agree. I actually like that suit a lot, Jesse.
What did Obama do on the economy? What did Obama, name one big statistic that you say, wow, Obama did a great job here.
Oh, well, the number of people who got health insurance because of Obamacare. 100%. There are problems
with the
program.
How about the millions that lost health insurance and had to pay 8 times what they were paying? What are you talking about?
What am I talking about?
All right, let me go to Jesse. Go ahead.
Okay, listen. Why this De Niro hasn't condemned Harvey Weinstein, but he's out there, you know, ripping Trump a new one. So we know where his priorities are. Also, De Niro lives in L.A. Little Rocket Man's got missiles aimed right at L.A., and because of all the fire and the fury rhetoric, now the North's come to the table and started talking to the South. So I think a lot of the stuff that he gets criticized for, they don't like his style. But look at the results. He's defeated ISIS. He has the stock market through the roof. Well, economy's doing great. If he's an idiot, like De Niro says, that doesn't seem like an idiot. And I don't know, Hillary couldn't beat an idiot. So what does that make her?
Jessica, good point. Jesse,
what does that make her? The most qualified person to run for the presidency in a very long time. Actually, that's what Hillary Clinton is. And I'm really curious if the things that Donald Trump said about President Obama or about Hillary Clinton were said by President.
Does it bother you that the Hillary bought and paid for phony Russian propaganda dossier was used to obtain a FISA warrant, as we are reporting tonight?
I understand your reporting, and I did see the segment. I'm going to have to spend a little bit more time with that before I'm going with that.
If
it
it's
does
true,
not seem to
I'm
me
telling you
that
it's true.
that is what happened
Is
here.
that
And there
sound-
are many who are
does
not
that
saying
sound
that
like
that
a
is the
problem
case.
for
There's
you?
no smoking gun here.
Actually,
What?
there is, but the House Intel Committee has it all.
Well,
Jessica.
then I guess
I mean,
we'll find
listen,
out, and then
Hillary
she's going to be-
paid for fake dirt from the Russians that started the whole wiretapping. I mean, that's a pretty big story, if you ask me.
I didn't say it wasn't a big story. I just said that I wasn't
You
sure
don't
that
trust
this was.
Sean Hannity's reporting, Jessica?
Yeah, really?
Come on, and you're on a
Seriously?
show.
What do you? I understand.
By the
I'm
way,
saying I saw
this is Waters' world. We all live in it. Good to
Just don't
see
throw
you.
the football at me.
Hang on, I don't have it tonight. I don't.